We have major breaking news, yes, from Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Troare just established Pan-African military. Take a look at this. On 14th of May, he established this military. Take a look at young guys with weapons to protect Africa, especially Burkina Faso. What are you telling me? Now listen to this.
Wonders shall never end. Ibrahim Troare has broken history again. Brothers and sisters across the great lands of Africa and the diaspora, welcome to another powerful episode of Ugoma Media, the voice of African truth, pride, and progress. Today, we are shouting with joy, hearts beating with pride, because our topic is one that sends ripples of hope across the continent. Captain Ibrahim Troare, President of Burkina Faso, has done it again. In his unwavering vision of an independent, sovereign, and powerful Africa, he has taken yet another historic step. Yes, family, the Institute of Black Peoples, Farafina, IPN Farafina, has been born. A new dawn is breaking over Burkina Faso. The spirit of Thomas Sankara lives again. The soul of the Buffalo Soldier breathes once more in the heart of Africa. Ugoma Media salutes this monumental initiative, led by our brother, our leader, our revolutionary Captain Ibrahim Troare. Let's break this down for the world to understand just how big this is. The IPN Farafina is not just an institution. It is the rebirth of an African consciousness. It is a fortress of black pride, African dignity, and cultural revival. Created in the image of the Buffalo Soldiers of 1861, this military regiment and ideological institution speaks of resilience, of history, of justice. Let us remember the Buffalo Soldiers, black men, formerly enslaved, systematically oppressed, who rose in 1866 to defend and serve with courage. From the dusty trails of the American West to the steep hills of San Juan in Cuba, they marched. Their legacy is one of discipline, strength, and loyalty. And today, President Troare draws from that well of strength. The IPN Farafina is our own Buffalo Soldier Regiment, not just in name, but in spirit. It is African. It is Pan-African. It is sovereign. This institution carries the ideals of anti-imperialism and the spirit of the people's progressive revolution. It is a sword against the forces of recolonization, a shield against the erasure of our culture, and a school to train sovereignist minds. Let the world know the IPN Farafina is not just military. It is also scientific. It is cultural. It is diplomatic. It is intellectual. It is a cradle where African history will be studied by Africans for Africans. Our ancestors smile in joy. This move, my people, is part of a grand vision. It is not isolated. It is deliberate. It is structured. On the same day, May 14th, 2025, Captain Troare's government also announced the creation of a higher military education college in Burkina Faso. Now we're talking about an African military education that is adapted to our realities, our terrains, our threats, and our culture. No longer shall Burkina Faso depend on foreign military doctrines that do not suit our people. We will train our officers locally. We will educate them in geopolitics, crisis management, and leadership, with Africa at the center. And that's not all. This college will be open to brothers and sisters from neighboring and fellow African countries. A Pan-African military elite will rise, trained not to serve foreign interests, but to protect African dignity and territorial integrity. Can you feel the power in this decision, family? Burkina Faso is becoming a lighthouse, a beacon of African resistance, a bastion of black pride. From the ashes of the original IPN created during the 1983 revolution of Thomas Sankara, Captain Ibrahim Troare raises a phoenix. The original IPN was buried by those who tried to erase Sankara's memory. But today, in 2025, it returns even stronger. It returns with soldiers, with scholars, with sovereignty, Ugoma Media family, let us not take this lightly. This is a declaration of ideological war against colonial mindsets. This is a cultural uprising. This is a military awakening. And President Traore is leading it with the wisdom of Sankara and the boldness of Lumumba. He is showing us that independence is not just about borders. It is about the mind. It is about the curriculum. It is about who trains our soldiers and who tells our stories. We are entering a new era where Burkina Faso becomes a sanctuary for Pan-Africanism, a place where young Africans come to learn about Nkrumah, about Cabral, about Marcus Garvey, about Harriet Tubman, about the Buffalo Soldiers, and about Sankara and Traore. This is more than pride. This is legacy. This is how we plant the seeds of sovereignty in the minds of our children. This is how we end dependency. This is how we defeat imperialism. So to the skeptics and critics who still wonder what Traore is building, let Ugoma Media answer. He is building freedom. He is building history. He is building Africa. We invite every youth, every intellectual, every African soldier of the mind and of the sword to look to Burkina Faso. The IPN Farafina is calling. It is calling the brave, the committed, the visionary. And here at Ugoma Media, we will keep telling these stories.
So, as you can see, this young guy is not joking. He means business here in Africa. The enemies must be panicking because they don't know the next step of this young guy, Ibrahim Troare. Not up to a week he came back from Russia. He already established this military.
Why are the Americans threatening Burkina Faso? Why is Trump going to back for the French and going after this guy? Why is the head of the U.S. AFRICOM, the Africa Command, talking about the need to secure Burkina Faso's resources? Because this guy is the boogeyman to European imperialism. He's a young black African Muslim Marxist who is digging out the French deep state in Africa. French colonialism never ended in Africa. The French have a very effective deep state in Africa. Through the banking system, through fake ownership of the natural resources of Africa, they have been able to maintain economic and political and military control over much of their former colonies. Most of the wealth of France is still stolen from Africa. The gold that fills their banks, the uranium that powers their metropolis, all of this is looted from Africa. When they pulled out, they installed a deep state with corrupt rulers that they could pay off in order to get resources for practically nothing. And Traore is ending that system. French created a banking system for Africa that gives France basic entire control over those nations' economies. The Africans actually have to borrow their own money at interest from France. The gold mines, the uranium mines, all the natural resources in these countries are treated as French property, and Traore has been making them property of the Burkinabe people. And as leader of the Alliance of Sahel States, his neighbors have been joining in on it. France has been getting driven out of Africa. Some good information on it. Check out the Al Jazeera documentary, The Gold Mafia, from Al Jazeera Investigates, or this Caspian Report video about how the French bank basically owns a bunch of African countries. Now, while Trump probably does not have any direct financial interest in the French Empire, there's what they always call the threat of a good example. The reason they tried to kill Fidel Castro so many times and blockaded Cuba was not just because of the loss of the banana fields and sugarcane fields. It was that if driving imperialism out of a country improves the standard of living in that country, then there's the threat of a good example of other countries replicating. So any country that dared to defy imperialism had to be severely punished. And what Brother Ibrahim has been doing and the Alliance of Sahel States have been doing has been improving the standard of living in their countries by using those resources for those countries, and that is a threat to imperialism worldwide. There's been something like 20 or 21 coup attempts or assassination attempts on him so far, and they're not going to stop. This guy is perhaps the single greatest threat to the imperialist world order right now. Tomorrow, April 30th, there's supposed to be a continent-wide protest for him across Africa. His cause is being taken up all over the continent, and it is a wonderful thing.